Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am taking you along with me and my mum to a place called Chipping Sodbury, and we are going there because there is a yarn festival. To get there we needed to take a train, which was a very pleasant and quiet journey. From the train station we also needed to take a bus to the town in which the festival was taking place. The weather was absolutely perfect, so taking public transport was fine, and again the bus was rather quiet for a Saturday morning. When we arrived in the town, there were loads of crocheted details everywhere, which just was stunning to look at, and actually seeing the skill of the local craftspeople. I really like these post boxes. As we got there a little early, we went for a stroll through the town and we came across this Saturday market. There was a record store as well as some beauty and soap products available to purchase. Mum and I went for a lovely walk and really enjoyed the warm weather that we have been having over the last couple of weeks. We then stumbled across an official sign for the festival and we started walking to our first destination, which was the church. One of the first dyers we came across was called Inner Fleece, and honestly was one of the highlights of the show. I will definitely be purchasing online. They had some truly beautiful combinations of colour and really unique yarn types. They were the only place I saw doing bolse yarn in beautiful tones. They had such a great variety of yarn types and colours. There was really something for everyone. I really regretted not purchasing this blend here. As you can see, it is absolutely stunning. At this point, the walking and the yarn viewing experience had made me very hungry, so my mum and I grabbed a pastry and a coffee from a chain called Coffee Number One. I really like their drinks here. It's probably one of my favourite chains for different coffee beverages, as well as a really good apple hot drink with cinnamon, which is perfect in the autumn. So we sat down and had breakfast together. With our bellies full of coffee and pastries, we were both very happy, so we started heading to the next yarn destination, which was the old grammar school. They had a couple of different boutiques there, as well as different opportunities to do yarn experiences. So they had spinning there, and in another location they also had yarn dyeing. I really loved this post box topper that we came across too. There was a little corridor we had to walk through outside to get to the grammar house. All the venues are really close to each other, which is quite good for accessibility. We grabbed a program, had stamps put on our hands so we could go into each venue easily, and we started exploring. So in the first room, I had the most amazing conversation with the dyers here. They had such amazing stories about how they got into dyeing, as well as just general life experience about living in Cambodia. It was really lovely to chat with them. Honestly, meeting people was such a nice experience. I love the craft community. Everyone is so tight and willing to help each other as well, which is really nice. They had some really beautiful blends as well, and I was just really pleased to see so many young people, as well as just vast generations of people getting into crafts. We went into the next room, which had even more skeins. It was just endless skeins, which was fantastic. And I came across the most amazing gift for myself. It would have been perfect for my mum, but she doesn't hand knit, she uses a knitting machine. But these needle stoppers to stop your yarn sliding off were just too adorable to not get, so I bought some Highland cows. I'm really looking forward to using these because they are super cute. She also had some beautiful colours. There are a lot more pastel, bright tones in comparison to some of the other dyes there, but it was nice because the dyeing experience seems to bring out people's personalities and showcase them or stories they want to tell, so it was really good to see such a variety. The highlight of the whole festival for me was both my mum and I trying spinning for the first time. It was really good fun, and I actually wasn't that bad at it for a first attempt, and the yarn matched my jumper, which is obviously the most important thing, but it was so much fun, and I really hope I get the opportunity to spin in the future. It's definitely something I'd be interested in taking up. After our spinning experience, we headed to the town hall, which was a little busy. We had to wait to get in, but it didn't disappoint. There were so many different yarns and exhibitors there. There were so many yarn options, it was actually insane. I feel like it's the type of thing that if you go to and you haven't been before, like me, it can be quite overwhelming, or if you don't have a project in mind or projects in mind, that you either end up buying so much yarn you don't know what to do with, or you end up not buying anything at all because you don't know the quantities that you need, which I kind of fell a bit more into that camp, unfortunately, but because it was my first experience, it was actually just quite nice to see what is there. We also saw some braiding and kumihimo options while we were here, as well as different patterns. And I really like the name of this company, Skein Queen. I think it was really creative and super, super fun. But yeah, just beautiful. I don't know what else to say other than stunning. I then went to a little button stand and bought some buttons. They had a really great selection and they were all handmade. Then it was back to yarn and eyeing up different yarn colours. I am a huge fan of pink and green together. Pink is currently my hair colour, as well as green being my favourite colour, so I really like that yarn. There were just so many options. There were buckets and buckets full of yarn to sort of dig through, as well as more raw or the bundle of yarn that you can either do felting with or spin yourself. There were just a million options, which is fantastic, but also, as I said, it is a little overwhelming. I really like the sparkly yarn too. So we continued on our yarn adventure, and it really was just great to see so many people there hand dyeing their own yarn and having being able to turn it into a business. We then went upstairs in the town hall to see what was up there, which obviously there was even more yarn, which was great to see. I really, really like just being able to see people's work and how people put colours together, especially when you're either new to knitting, crochet. It's really cool to see what colours do work together. And I really like this raspberry coloured yarn, and just pretty much every yarn I saw the whole time I was there. But Mum and I just kind of wandered around, and I think at this point we were mentally yarned out, but there were some beautiful, beautiful businesses up here with really, really high quality, stunning products. We saw some felting lamps, we saw loads and loads of skeins in different colours, and yeah, it was honestly a really, really nice experience just to see so many small businesses come together and showcase their work in this festival. This was one of my favourite stands. I think from memory they were called Otter and Papoose, and yeah, I think this was just a lovely layout, and I really liked the crocheted aregurumi. Obviously, just doing the yarn festival wouldn't have been enough, so we did end up popping into a local yarn store, and I did end up grabbing a few bits here for a test knit that I am a part of and starting this week before I go off on holiday. So I picked up the yarn so I can take it with me. This was a quest and a half. I think my brain had kind of melted by this point. I really like the raspberry tones I saw earlier, but I just couldn't find anything in the quantities that I needed, that I liked the combinations of. But I actually went with this sort of Joker Batman-esque scheme of green and purple, and thought as part of the pattern needs mohair, I would substitute that for tinsel, so I grabbed some tinsel to try for the first time. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you came along and if you're going to any more in the future, and I'll see you soon.